Shalom, shalom, family. It's your brother Woodrow. And man, I got a message this week. Sometimes I be, on the fence, like, is this a good message to bring to the people? But this week I feel really good about this message, man, because it's something that I actually lived in this past week. So let me talk to y'all about it. I had a dear sister, like a really, really good friend of the family that I grew up with, hit me up yesterday and was just like with a question. She was like, "Do you celebrate Valentine's Day?" I told her no. And me being me, I always like to give some type of reasoning and evidence. And I've read that we shouldn't even give explanations a lot of times. We just do what we do. But because it's somebody I cared about, and I love to try to educate people or at least make people understand where I'm coming from, you know. They said it's like a what's it called? Like a side effect of not being listened to, not being believed at an early age, and make you feel like you have to give hardcore evidence for everything that you say. And even the scriptures say give a reason for why you believe what you believe, So I like went and found some videos and from some other people who were talking on the subject or whatever and shared them with her. And she responded back and said, "Well, you used to, you know." And my only response after that was, when you know better, you do better. And I realized after I typed that response, I realized that that was actually the theme for, I'm going to say, my week. Because, like, the day before that pretty much summed up my week for real. And something that happened to me, I'm gonna say, and I'm not blaming it on them. I mean, well, you can't blame nothing on nobody but yourself, especially when you get to be this big age. But my parents were two of the nicest, kindest people who ever walked this planet. And I was able to, being a child, I was able to see the pros and the cons of being so nice and kind, you know? And they just being nice to everybody, like not having no picks, not being nice to this person or these people, and being avoiding or whatever to these people. That's nice to everybody. No holds barred. Like you hard to find somebody who my folks were not super nice to, and if they weren't, then it definitely was a reason. And even sometimes when people gave them 1 million reasons, they still found that one reason to be nice and kind and inclusive of and involve these people or this person or whatever. And I saw the pros and cons of that. And sometimes, even though I feel like, because I remember one time I had an incident with a brother who I knew from years before, and we used to sing together. Not one of the singers that you would recognize me for singing with, but another brother that I used to sing with, because Baltimore is like it's a plethora of singers and very talented singers in Baltimore. And this is one of the other singers in another group that I had been a part of. And we had an incident where I had went with him to do karaoke. And the conditions, I'm not going to tell the whole story because that's just, I mean, there's no reason, but something happened that caused him to say, "You're not the same guy that your mother and father raised." And I was like, you know what? At first it hit me like a ton of bricks, like, dang, that's messed up. But then it really hit me like the following day. Sometimes you don't get the revelation till the next day. I was like, you know what? Thank you. Because like I love my mom and dad. I look up to my mom and dad when it comes to a lot of things. But one thing that I did wish that, like I never understood why they were so nice to some people, why they did just say okay to certain situations. I was like, that's good because that means that I'm kind of kicking that people pleasing side of me, and the fact that I was able to say no to what you just asked me made me feel good about myself. So thank you for the compliment. Thank you for noticing my growth and my change, But at the same time, sometimes we do slip back into those old ways. And one thing that happened to me just a couple of days ago, I slipped back into my old ways and I had a conversation with a person that, no, sometimes when you see a person name in your phone, you pretty much know what they gonna talk about, and you know what type of time they gonna be on. And like most times you just like, nah. But then every once in a while you have a moment of weakness and you just indulge the person, and the conversation ended up being exactly what I knew it was gonna be. But I sat there and I humored it, and I ended up with vexation of spirit after I got off the conversation, after I got off the line. And the worst part about that was that this is what I studied the day before. And I show you the paper. I had bought it up to throw away because I had actually written it all over nice and neat for this thing. Can't really see it because I did pull it up because it's on this white paper or whatever, but you'll be able to hear me read it out. And if you can't see any of it, you can see Ciroc, and you can see 22 and 13. I'm pretty sure you can see that. And you can see the date, 2/12. And the incident happened on 2/13. So I just read this, not a couple days ago, not a couple weeks back or anything, but just read this for my own personal study. Like everything that I read and study, I study every day. But only the stuff that really, really jumps off the paper at me is the stuff that I get on here and share. And I wasn't gonna get on here and share this because this is a study that I, like felt like I needed for myself. And also whenever I share these verses, these particular verses on Instagram or whatever, not that you go by that, but it never get a lot of likes. Because I don't know if people think it's mean or it's, judgmental or whatever the case may be, but it's very necessary. And I realized how necessary it was. Like I remember a long time ago, I prayed and asked the Most High to help me to understand His Word. And what He did, every time that I asked that, I would go through an experience in my life. And then I would go and open the book and read. And what I would be reading would be what I just went through. So maybe that's why that had to happen, to reinforce these words, because I just studied them. But make them come to life for me one more time. This is what I just studied the day before. Let me read a little bit of it to y'all for real. This is Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus, chapter 22, verse 13. Talk not much with a fool, and go not to him that hath no understanding. Beware of him, lest thou have trouble, and thou shalt never be defiled with his fooleries. Depart from him, and thou shalt find rest, and never be disquieted with madness. Now that's a lot of fancy words, a lot of big words that even I can't. We had to go to the dictionary to get to the gist of them, but I understand it. But just so we have a clearer understanding, let's get it out of the good news. Don't visit stupid people or spend a lot of time talking with them. Avoid them, then they can't contaminate you. See, it's contagious. And I can be a witness to that because I done caught it a couple times. But all praises to the Most High Yah that He is a healer and He healed me from it. I guess it's like a cold or something because you can get it and get rid of it. But once again, avoid them and they can't contaminate you. And you can live in peace without being troubled or worn down by their foolishness. And be clear, I'm not sitting here calling a person a fool, but it's a meme one time I saw that says like your brain works perfectly fine and up until the point where you fall in love. And certain people fall in love with things also. You can not only fall in love with a person, but you can fall in love with things. And sometimes when people fall in love with things being one way or being the way that they used to them being, when they become a different way, they don't fall out of love with that. They fall in love with things being that one way. And that's all their mind can understand. That's all their mind can compute. They don't think of anything outside of that box, So in that particular instance, for that particular cause, this person is playing the role of a fool. So I'm not saying that they're a fool in everyday life because the person is really smart and they have like a lot of insight when they come to different things. But when they come to me, they only see me in one light and they only see me in one way. So when they talk to me, their conversation is about one thing, like a one-track minded conversation, and it never goes anywhere. It's just stupid. Like I just saying a thing and not calling the person a demon once again, but demons can enter into people, any of us, if we unaware. Like the reason why I didn't put up a video last week is because I touched something and I just posted on IG. If anybody follow me here on IG, just posted something about not letting everybody touch you because different people have different energies within them, and sometimes they not even aware of the energies that's within them. But if you're a highly sensitive person, as such as I am, Mr. Too Sensitive, remember the sweatshirt and the lesson from the message from a couple weeks ago. So I had like helped this lady was getting on she was getting on the bus or whatever, and I had helped her carry her bag. And it's like from the minute that I picked up that bag, I felt something like, on cartoons, like, and you like it be an energy or something. I felt like something entered me, and I was like, real. When I went to talk last week, when I came home that night and I went to talk and do the video, I felt like real incoherent. Like I felt like nothing I said was making sense. And even though a lot of it was written down, I was just like rambling off the thing that I wrote down and stuff, and it was just really weird. So I had to pray that spirit off of me, and all praise to the Most High. I feel like I'm back to myself now, so I never want to come before y'all undecent. Even just like in going around people, like me and a close friend of mine was always like, look, I love to see you, but my energy not right now. And I don't want to bring that around you and put that on you. So that's how I feel about everybody who takes the time to sit and watch. Like, I ain't want to bring y'all that energy. So all praise to the Most High that I'm back to who he made me to be. I did a lot of studying, a lot of reading the word, a lot of praying, and he brought me back. But yeah, it's like like when you know better, you do better. And it's like I sat there and knew better than to entertain this person. But back to what I was saying, I'm sorry. I've learned that when you forget your train of thought, you just keep on talking and eventually it'll come back to you. So I was saying that maybe a spirit or something enters this person to make them call me and talk to me about certain things or whatever, and be so vehement and be so enthusiastic about it, to the point where as though it ends up being vexation of spirit or whatever. And it's like I just put up on my social media a thing about stop explaining yourself to demons, because you're not really talking to that person. You're talking to the spirits that have entered that person and then make them say certain things. And sometimes people don't even realize they're being used, or people don't even realize that they're not talking of their own volition or of their own mind, that it's something overtaking them and causing them to talk like that and be that way. But either way, when you peep that spirit, or you peep that, even if it's a person that you talk to regularly, if you peep that they ain't talking like they self, or they talking out their head, my God, excuse yourself. You feel me? And the thing about me, I was so mad at myself because this was actually the time that I sit there and read the Bible every day. Like the time they called me was like an hour before I start my study. And I was like, all right, I'll entertain this person for an hour. But then, like, we was just talking and talking. Next thing I knew, I lost the track of time. And it was, like, into the time that I normally study. So I'm like, man, I'm really messing up. And it's a scripture that says, I'm sorry, let me jump a little bit ahead. It's a scripture that says, when you find, this is Sirach chapter 27, verse 12. When you find yourself with stupid people, and like I said, I'm not calling a person stupid, but a person that's under a spirit of stupidity at the time, or got them acting stupid at that time. Not saying a person is like eternally stupid, but they talking stupid. I'm gonna say it like that. When you find yourself with stupid people, look for some excuse to leave. But when you are with serious-minded people, stay as long as you can. I had a legitimate reason to get off the phone because it was time for me to do my studying. And I still stayed. So in that case, who was the stupid person? Not them. This one. And there's nothing wrong with taking accountability. I know I read all that stuff now and all these modern theologies or beliefs that say, don't never call yourself stupid. Don't say bad things about yourself because your body is listening. Whatever, man. You also got to take accountability. Some of these statements, probably the reason why a lot of people don't take accountability when they mess up. I'm a person who's very honest, one way or the other. I'm a realist. If I'm the one messing up and I'm in the wrong, I'm gonna say I messed up. I talk to myself a lot of times. Come on, Woodrow. You knew better than that. You know better than that, boy. Or in the morning when I'm feeling lazy and I'm about to be late for work or whatever. Get up, boy. You know, have that real talk with yourself. Like, you can talk gently to yourself. You can have to forgive yourself, because you can't just cut yourself off and not deal with yourself because of mistakes that you made. But you can also call yourself out on your own BS. Not gonna say the words, but yeah. So I don't agree with all that 100%. But I had every reason to end the call, but I just sat there like what my mama used to say, being a glutton for punishment. You feel me? At the risk of not even getting my study for that day, but all praise to the Most High, He gave me a quick one, and I'm gonna probably put that up for my reel on my Instagram. What He revealed to me for to tell everybody that day. But yeah, man, it's like this is another scripture, and this is something that a lot of us do. This is Proverbs 19:3. The foolishness of a man perverteth his way, and his heart fretteth against Yahuwah, or the Lord. New Living Translation says it like this: people ruin their lives by their own foolishness and then are angry at Yahuwah, or the Most High, or the Lord. Good News Translation says, some people ruin themselves by their own stupid actions and then they blame Yah. So people will do all type of stupid stuff and then they sit there like, why, Lord? Why you let that happen to me, Lord? Why you let this happen, Lord? And the whole time and the Lord ain't do that. Oh, you. Oh, me. You feel me? So we got to take accountability for our actions, and when we know better than something, we do better. Because like a lot of people, they be like, oh, I'll go anywhere, I'll do anything, I'll go in the middle of the hood with all my chains on, because I know the Lord got me. The Lord also give you common sense to know not to do certain things. Like what it say when the devil tried to tell the Messiah to jump off the mountain, and he know that he quoted the scripture to him that the Most High would send the angels to bear him up lest you dash your foot against a stone. He said, yeah, but it's also written, do not tempt the Lord your God. So it's like, why even make the Most High, give the Most High unnecessary work when you could just use the noodle that He gave you to, hopefully it's not a noodle, hopefully it's a whole brain, but use what He gave you to use sense so you don't even get into those situations. And my lesson this week, I'm really talking to myself. It's like when you know better, you do better. And when you know somebody ain't coming to talk about absolutely nothing, don't even entertain them people, man. Then you get upset later on because they upset you. You already knew they was going to upset you because you already know they MO and you know what they going to talk about. So how silly is that? Silly of me. you know? So just when you know better, do better. Be smart, man. Not saying be mean or nothing like that, but when you know somebody's coming to vex your spirit, why even give them the platform to do so? Just like when people online, like they sit there and argue with different content creators, hey, I'm mad at y'all. I got the purple book, got the purple jacket, got the purple hat, with the name of our Most High on it. I'm purpled out today, man. Yeah, man. But yeah, it's like when you know what somebody's bringing, why would you even watch their comment? Why sit there and comment angry comments underneath for somebody's content when you already know they not talking nothing that you agree with or nothing that you want to hear? Why follow news stories on people that you don't like or you feel a certain way about? And a lot of times is I don't care not like nobody that I don't know. I cannot like what they stand for, what they represent to the public, but I can't like really sit there and vehemently have hate for somebody that I never met and I've never had a conversation with. Because a lot of people have a persona for the public, and then they have a whole nother persona when you meet them in person and talk to them, chop it up with them one on one. But it's like if you know you don't like what a person stands for and what they represent, why would you even listen to hear what they got to say? You know, just keep scrolling, pass on. But if you see them in real life, just keep going. But some people like to upset themselves and be like my mama said, I'm crying, I was eating a piece of candy and it had almonds in it. So a piece of almond was just there floating around and it was vexing my spirit. But yeah, man, like I said, if you know somebody is bringing something to you that you don't want, you got the right to be like, nah, my spirit don't take that. My spirit rejects that. And you got the right to reject it. So like I said, when you know better, do better. A sign of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. So me expecting this person to be on something different miraculously is my foolishness and my stupidity. So For this week, I'm going to say don't be like me. Don't do what I just did. Use wisdom, and like I said, talk not much with a fool or a person that's in a foolish state of mind or a person that's getting ready to talk to you about some foolishness. Don't even entertain it, because when you entertain it, you become just as foolish and just as stupid by entertaining. Like I said, that's contagious. Foolishness is contagious. Don't catch it. Alright? Keep the Most High first. This one is a little longer than my last couple because I was a little more passionate about this subject than I have been. I mean, I'm passionate about all of it, but y'all get what I'm saying. But definitely a cautionary tale. May the Most High bless and keep each and every one of us, me included, y'all and me, because these are wild times. Stay vigilant, stay prayerful. Pray for all of us, And shalom, and Most High willing, we'll get together again real soon. Love y'all.